Well, a hearty hello to everybody out there. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Felicia Lawrence, and I'm happy to be here with you tonight. Scott is off. He's on assignment right now. He's not off. He's still working, but he's out on assignment. You got to keep it real. You know,
he is working.
He's not kicking his heels up. He is actually working, okay? But Angela is here with me all evening long.
Yes.
We've been hanging out, having a little girl talk, and we're going to get you all the information you need to, of course, get you through your evening and get you prepared for tomorrow as well. Before we jump into it, let's actually give people a note for our cue of the day. Okay, our question of the day is, what's the most life-changing book you've ever read? Okay, what's the most life-changing book? Yeah. What's the most life-changing book you've ever read? Jump in the comments. Let us know. We're going to, talk about it. We're going to share ours. I actually have two that I'm going to give. Okay. And then make some recommendations. Do you read a lot or no?
I like to read, but it's usually vacation reads, which is different than life-changing reads like, what is Chelsea Handler's book?
I can't remember it, but she's funny.
Yeah, she is very funny.
Yeah, but she has a lot of experiences that I think women can relate to.
Yeah, so I read a lot of her. I read a lot of a friend of hers, Jenny Molin. So I like reads like that. I just recently read Dark Matter, which is so not a Chelsea Handler book. It actually had a little bit, not that Chelsea doesn't have depth, but it's a different kind of depth, and it was kind of mysterious, and it was great. It was great. I would recommend that. Is it like a novel, like telling someone's story, or is it no, just
action, self-help, advice?
It is action, and it has to do with are we really here, or are there other parallel universes? Like, is there another Felicia that took a different path, and does that Felicia exist in another space?
See, now you're giving me...
It has to do with physics, and I forgot all my physics from Purdue a long time ago.
This sounds like a metaphysical book. This is like a new dimension, science fiction, but is it reality? This is totally different.
But I enjoyed it, so that was one of my latest reads.
Something to make you think. We like books like that too, so drop those in the comments if you got something like that. But let's get a check of the weather.
You got it. We will check radar first because we're keeping an eye on more rain. Sean did something kind of interesting. We've had, I think he said 30-some days with more than 1/100 of an inch of rain. It's just really in the last couple of months, which we've had a fairly wet spring, and it's been a very windy spring as well, and we do have more wet weather. So what you need to know, at least from the weather department, is you're going to need the umbrella the next couple of days. Unfortunately, they're dealing with another tornado outbreak across parts of Oklahoma. Those are tornado watches highlighted in pink that extend from western Oklahoma back south through western Texas. None of that headed our way, but we can't rule out a thunderstorm that may go strong to severe on Friday, may have a little spin to it just because the center of this storm system is going to be overhead. If you've got some things to take care of outside tomorrow, do them early in the day. All bets off by late morning, early afternoon. We're going to be in and out of some rain. Temperatures in the 60s tomorrow, which is a little cooler than where we should be. Our average high now up into the low 70s. We don't get there until Mother's Day, and be prepared for some off and on rain and storms on Friday as well. So a soggy stretch that will take us through the start of the weekend. Your first mini marathon is on Saturday.
Yes.
And so we'll be keeping everybody and you up to date on the weather. Right now it looks like a chance for a couple of showers for the early part of the race, and then just kind of cloudy, cool, drizzly. But I have a feeling runners, I'm not a runner. I am not a runner, but I have a feeling they would prefer 50s, a little bit of drizzle, compared to 80, 85, which we've had some hot mini marathons, and I know they don't want that.
I think so. I would prefer the 80, 85, yes. But you guys are doing the work that day. I hope you get what you want, get what you need to, of course, make it a successful race for you. Since we are here and we are talking about weather, somebody tuned in from Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Oh, wow.
This is in Oklahoma, and so middle of Tornado Alley, they're actually dealing with a tornado. Somebody said they're watching us in their closet, sitting in the closet right now.
And we're sorry, but you're right. That is.
Yeah, here's your soapbox, your PSA for severe weather, since we are in that season.
And you definitely want to be in your closet somewhere away from windows and doors. You put as many walls between you and the outside. Something in the center of your home without windows, without doors, a closet, a bathroom, something small. And if you've got little ones that are afraid of weather, you can always maybe take some of that fear out by preparing ahead of time. Make a kit with maybe some coloring books or crayons.
That's good.
A bicycle helmet, just because we want to cover our heads from debris that may fly.
A fun hat.
A fun hat, a fun pillow, their favorite pillow.
Yes.
Maybe not their favorite because they might sleep with that all the time, but their second favorite pillow. Throw that in the kit, so then when and if we do have severe weather and you're encouraged to go to that safe spot, you've got a kit you can grab, and it may not be as scary.
Yeah, and that was Jan Adam from Shawnee, Oklahoma. So Jan, thanks for updating us. We certainly hope you're okay. I have a soft spot there. I've talked about it before. I worked in Southwest Missouri, which we of course covered Kansas, Oklahoma. They call it the 4 states region. And so when I hear that, I know, and I'm glad you shared the part about staying calm and trying to keep your family calm, because it really, really can be upsetting, obviously, for a number of reasons.
And knowledge is power, and preparing is power. So knowing what to do and being ready for it when it happens, that again can take some of the fear out of it.
Yes, yes. So let's just give a quick hello before we get into our story that we're going to feature this evening. We've got Tanya, always tuning in. Thank you, Miss Tanya. Sarah said the Bible. A couple other people said the Bible too. It's a lot of good stuff in that book and so many others. Glenn wants to know, what do you do for Mother's Day weekend? Well, Glenn, I'm not a mom yet, but I, of course, am going to celebrate my mom. Usually we just end up doing dinner and quality time. Nothing major. I think we're simple folks, so as long as you feed us.
A little food.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you have other ideas for Mother's Day, you guys put that in the comments too, okay? I'm looking for gift ideas as always. Let me see. Francisco, hello. Ronald, Teresa also saying the Bible. Oh, don't sweat the small stuff. Ronald said that. I've heard of that book. I don't think I've read that one yet. I've heard of it.
I can't remember if I've read it or I've bought it. I bought Luke, and he has not read it. Basically everything you need to know, the defining decade they call it, because he turned 20 last year. So it's the defining decade, what you really should know and prepare for and what you should be doing in your 20s. But he's going to be 21 on Monday, and I don't think he's read it yet. But that is the challenge for the summer, Luke. It's to read that book.
We need one book report. That's all I'm asking is for one book report.
He might be too old for me to require a book report, but I'm going to encourage him to read it, because, you know, if you think about that is a defining decade.
Yes,
as you are coming out of somebody taking care of you to, here you go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay, you made me nervous, and I already passed that decade. It's a lot of pressure. It should be fun too.
It's a lot of
pressure. Let's take a break from our cue of the day and actually get to Dustin Grove's story. He's talking about road rage that we've seen in central Indiana, and I know it's happening other places in the country too. I'm from Chicago. They've been talking about it. There have been a lot of shootings on the expressway, a sharp increase. So we talked to Dustin earlier. Here's what he has to say. Police say they have seen an alarming number of road rage shootings on Indiana highways and interstates lately. Dustin's been looking into this and the human cost it's taking.
Yeah, this was a big surprise to me. State police said they had 65 reported shootings on central Indiana highways and interstates last year alone, which is 7 times what they saw just 4 years ago. And they tell me most of those shootings are related to road rage. They also say that that's only a snapshot, because it doesn't include the road rage related shootings that are happening in city streets and county roads and that sort of thing. So I learned it's kind of difficult to track, but state and local police both say this is becoming a big problem.
And that's an astonishing number, but you actually spoke to someone who's personally affected by this?
Yeah, I talked with a woman whose daughter was a passenger in a car in Indianapolis and was caught in the crossfire of a road rage related shooting. She was shot and she was killed because the guy that she was in the car with, the driver, and another driver got into a spat and started firing at each other, and she was the one who ended up being shot and killed. Just an incredibly emotional and impactful story. You're going to hear her story, and also what we can do if we get caught up in a road rage incident. I don't know about you, but every time I get in my car and hit the interstate or the highway or an urban
465 is something else right
now. There's just something about it. People get so angry so quickly. So we'll talk about that tonight at 11.
Okay, safety is always first, so that's something we want to focus on. Dustin, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, as he said, coming up at 11, we're going to talk to experts, see what they say. What should you do in that situation? You know, I think people always want to have the bigger, louder bark. You know, you feel like, no, you're not going to bully me, but to be humble in a situation like that could end up being life-saving. You know, you don't want to win a battle, you want to stay alive.
Think before you act, think before you speak, just think.
Yes, just think. And also coming up at 11, we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle. You know, he had a show yesterday and he was attacked. To say the least of it. So we've got the latest on that because I think he's spoken out. We also know a little bit more about the attacker as well. All of this on the heels of the Will Smith incident. So something else you want to see at 11 p.m. Okay, our cue of the day before we get one more check of the weather was what is the most life-changing book you've ever read? People are all in the comments. We see a lot of our family members in the comments.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
His was As a Man Thinketh, and he has read that, and he bought it for Mark. I don't know if he bought it for Luke yet or not. If you haven't, Dad, that should be maybe for his 21st here coming up in a few days.
That's a good
gift. That was his book.
Yeah, I saw my husband Teddy in the comments as well.
Hey, Teddy.
Hey, Teddy. So mine is, I didn't give mine. So The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder has a spiritual perspective, but it's not talking just about prosperity in terms of money, also prosperity in terms of love, life, health, fitness, your job, like in prosperity in all aspects of your life. And it's just really encouraging you to kind of reframe how you approach life. And again, from a spiritual perspective, not so much religious, but absolutely spiritual. You can add the sprinkle of religion in there if that's your taste.
Sure.
And the other one, because I do read so many self-help books, I need to have a little bit more fun. So if you have any fun books or adventure or novels you think we should read, put those in the comments. But another one, Homegoing by Gyasi. She is a Ghanaian American writer, and the book was basically telling the perspective of two twins born in Africa. One twin ends up staying in Africa through, I guess this is around like 1800s. The other twin is trafficked through the American slave trade. So they're following the generations of these two twins as they grow, like over 200 years. Their generations, their kids. Oh,
how interesting.
And what's so interesting about it is that it's kind of giving an untold story. So it's like historical based fiction, untold story of that journey of Black people in this country, and then of course someone who would have stayed in Africa at that time. It's interesting.
Excellent.
I cried. That's how you know it's a good book. I cried at the end. It was over. But it's just the untold story of many people. So it's awesome.
Yeah, well, we're getting a lot. Obviously, the Bible, hands down, is the book that is trending right now on our Facebook Live. And a lot of mindfulness books, too. So, yeah, I think that, you know, coming out of the pandemic, I have a feeling those are very popular, and self-help in general, and being grounded and trying to see the good. You know, it's been tough. It's been a tough couple of years for a lot of people.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. Before we go, let's get another check of the weather, send people out on their way. It's going to be a wet one, huh?
It is. Take the umbrella for the next couple of days. We're going to be into a soggy stretch all the way through the start of the weekend. You'll have a few hours dry early tomorrow before rain arrives late morning, early afternoon, and then it's going to be off and on all the way through the start of the weekend. Have to shout out to Becky, too. She watches quite a bit.
Hey, Becky.
She's a friend, too.
You're just such a nice lady, Angela. I hope I get to meet all your people.
Oh, I've lived here a long time. I have a few people.
Oh, well,
She got to meet Grace tonight on FaceTime.
I know. I hope your people become my people.
Yeah,
I want nice people.
We're all the same people.
Send nice people my way. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Again, we'll see you at 11. We've got so many stories to cover, so many things that you need to know to get ready for tonight and as well as tomorrow. See you then, 13 News at 11.